Hello and welcome to another episode of Center Stage with ICS Theatre, back after a short break. I'm your host Anaita Mantri. After a whirlwind round of talks with some of the movers and shakers of ICS and celebrating ICS Theatre's 10 fabulous years, we thought why not extend this celebratory feeling a little bit longer with another local theatre group that will be celebrating their milestone anniversary this year. Yes, I'm speaking of Epic Actors Workshop, celebrating 20 years of the South Asian Theatre Festival in New Jersey. Today, we will be speaking with the founder and the flag bearer of this outstanding theatre group, Dr. Dipan Ray, or as he is endearingly and respectfully referred to by fellow thespians as Diponda. Dr. Dipan Ray is a well known pharmacist and an educator with a deep passion for theatre. He was born and raised in the Kalighat neighborhood of South Kolkata in a middle class family as the youngest of five siblings. A personal tragedy of losing his father due to an illness at a young age propelled his inclination to do something in the medical field, and eventually he became a pharmacist. With an M.Pharm postgraduate degree and a prestigious internship at Rickett and Coleman under his belt, Diponda set his sights on America and moved here in 1984. As is true for most Bengali families, Diponda was exposed to the world of poetry and performing arts from a very young age by his father, where art and culture thrived along with academic excellence. Encouraged by his friends and family, his talent in the performing arts was showcased in acting and directing many small and large theatre projects in Kolkata during his high school and college years. When he came to the US, Diponda was a busy man, advancing his career by obtaining his pharmacist license, a PhD, getting married, and also being actively involved and engaged in local theatre scene in New York. His fervor for theatre led him to quickly garner new friends in fellow thespians in New York and New Jersey. And in 1988, he founded the US chapter of Epic Actors Workshop. Fueled by the synergy he experienced at the New York International Fringe Festivals in the 1990s, Diponda was enthused to create a similar platform for South Asian theatre. After moving to New Jersey in 2001 and setting up a permanent home for Epic Actors Workshop here, Diponda set out to organize the very first South Asian Theatre Festival in New Jersey. That was 20 years ago, and the rest is history. Please help me in extending a warm welcome to New Jersey's very own Dr. Dipan Ray.
Hi,
So,
Anahita. Good
welcome.
morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Center Stage with ICS Theatre. So, we are very happy to have you with us today. Let me get right to it and not take up too much of your time, and talk a little bit about all of your work and everything that you have done for the theater scene in New York, New Jersey, in the Northeast region. So let's begin a little bit with what aspect of your early life growing up in Kolkata did you carry with you, and how did it influence your work even now? Even how does it influence your work even today?
Well, if I want to go back to my early life, I have to start when I was only 4 years old.
Mhm.
And I had no idea about going on the stage, what you can do on the stage, how the audience, you should address the audience. Practically, whatever you see among the kids, I had no inhibitions that I'm getting nervous going onto the stage. And there was some kind of event going on in my neighborhood in Calcutta. And my dad actually, and my brother also, he kind of forced me because the organizers invited me to see a poem. And that's the first time I had to go on the stage and I had to, do that. But usually at the time when the kids are doing something like that, they have to enact, not only just recite the poem. So my brother kind of taught me how to do it. And as I said, since I didn't have any inhibition, I went on to the stage and did it. It's a long poem by Rabindranath Tagore. And surprisingly, the next morning, my dad came with a newspaper that it was published in the newspaper. The 4-year-old kid recited the poem, long poem from Tagore.
Wow.
And that time I kind of realized that, oh, there is a magic when you go on the stage. And that kind of inspired me to get into the performance in future, which I started from my school time all the way through. Yeah, that was kind of inspiration for getting into the performing arts, you can say.
Right, right. Great. Yeah, that's the best thing, right? At the young days when children have no inhibition, they think they
Exactly.
can do anything, and that's really the best way to hone any of the skills that
Right, right, right.
children can carry on into the
Yeah,
future.
yeah. Then
Um,
obviously I was taught by every time there was a performance annual event in the school
yeah.
from that age onwards. And every time the teachers will come and say, who wants to volunteer to participate? My hands goes up first. So I never stopped doing it. And I got training,
Yeah.
obviously, by the teachers,
Mhm.
years after years after years. So that brought me here today. Although I'm not performing anymore now, my role is different these days.
Right,
But that was the kind of inspiration, you can say.
right. And we are all very lucky to have that inspiration carry forward and bring it here. Tell us
Thank you.
something about the early days of Epic Actors Workshop when you started that, the production, their successes, failures. What happened when you first started, and what did you face at the time?
Well, that's an interesting story because uh, I joined Epic Actors Workshop back home when I was in my college days. So there is a group called Epic Actors Workshop in Kolkata. The director of that group was disciple of Utpal Das.
Okay.
So one of my senior in the college, he already joined that group. He was already acting there, and he saw that I'm very interested. I'm looking for a place where I can work professional level. So he told me that let's go and join the group with us. And that was my first beginning with Epic Actors Workshop. And I did a couple of performances with them in Kolkata in a professional stage. And then it was going fine, but in that started around 1970. And then 1984, I decided to move to US. So when I came here, the first thing I realized that I am missing something and I cannot live without that, which is theater. So I was kind of going crazy, looking around what's going on. Fortunately enough, I got the same person back here. He came before me. He came in 1974 and happened to I met him in a picnic, our college picnic here. We have alumni association here, so we usually meet together. So I met him. His name is Dhruva Datta. He is still here. He is living in Long Island. And we decided together, we talked in that picnic itself, we talked with each other. And he was very excited to see me. He said, let's start together again. So then immediately in 1984, we started working together, doing a couple of plays in the community level. I started acting with him. He was a very excellent, good actor, excellent actor. So he invited me. He said, one day he said, around 1988, he said, why not we form our group back here, the US chapter of Epic Actors Workshop, so that we can have our memory back and keep our guru happy. So then I said, well, then let's take a permission from our guru. So when we approached him, he said, well, if I can live with my students in abroad, I may not be able to go there any longer. But, I can be with you. Just
Mm.
go ahead and do it. And that's the beginning of Epic Actors Workshop, officially registered in 1988.
Right. Amazing. Amazing. And,
It's almost now 40 years.
wow. Yeah,
We
that
are
was
doing non-stop work.
still going strong, touch wood. That's great.
Every year, I think that I'm getting tired. Maybe it is time for me to take off. But every year, I see that is getting stronger and stronger. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And it is all due to, all of your hard work and dedication over the years.
Well, I would say that theater cannot be done by one person. So obviously, I'm putting my best effort and putting my organization hat, but it's everybody with the team. I mean, the way they are with me, they are helping me. I'm happy that I'm able to motivate them and inspire them as I was inspired.
Absolutely. Any organization needs a very a motivational and a good leader, and that's what you have provided, which is,
Right.
amazing. So I know that you had worked a little bit with the New York International Fringe Festival when you first came to the US, and based on that, you decided to start the South Asian Theatre Festival here in New Jersey, which was really the first of its kind here for South Asian theatre because there was nothing like that at the time. What was your primary motivation to do it, to start this festival?
See, when I was working in New York with my group in different places, suddenly I got an invitation from one of the organizers of New York Fringe Festival in 1997. The president was Ilana Holly, and she suddenly wanted me because what their plan was to invite every caste, race, every people from all over the world, all theater people. Doesn't language is not a barrier. They are trying to organize a festival which is parallel to Edinburgh Festival in UK.
Hmm.
So parallel to that, the Edinburgh Festival is a big festival, and they have a lot of resources, and we have Broadway shows here. So their idea was that we'll do theaters across off Broadway
Hmm.
and giving opportunities to different groups who want to bring experimental theater at a much lower cost, so they can afford, audience can afford to see the different types of shows. So what they invited me to join the organizing committee in 1997, and as a result, I got opportunity to bring Epic show in one of the event.
Okay.
So when we did it for 3 years from 1997 to 200. And in the meantime, I started bringing groups from Kolkata. And
Mhm.
first group I brought and I collaborated with them is because I wanted to get a professional director so that at least our work will be at that level compared to
Right.
the other groups participating from different parts of the world. So first group we collaborated with Nandikar. That's a big company, theater company, still existing. Actually, the director was that time is Rudra Prasad Sengupta, who is a very familiar face. Just got into 90 years. I had a opportunity to get his blessing during his birthday celebration this year, and uh, and during that time, I realized that almost 70 countries are participating from all over the world, and everyone participating there for 2 weeks, okay, interacting with each other, and
Mhm.
doesn't matter what language they speak, doesn't matter what countries they are from, and they can become friends very easily uh, within these 2 weeks. So I started thinking about, after these 3 years, I started thinking about that in New Jersey and New York, we have a large South Asian community.
Correct.
Why cannot we bring the entire community? Because we are doing things separately,
Yeah.
in our own community. But why can't we bring the entire South Asian community under one roof? And how we can do that? And my only forte was theater. So theater could be the only way I can bring people together. And then I thought maybe I can try to organize this kind of festival. in New Jersey. So that was the whole idea of creating South Asian Theatre Festival in 2006. Yeah, and you can see that our mission was, when we started in 2006, our mission was bringing communities together. And I'm happy that it's still happening now. Yeah.
That's great. That's wonderful. So what were so when you did start having the South Asian Theatre Festival initially, what were some of the things you felt you had to do different from the New York film festivals, and what were some of the challenges that you had? What was something that you had to do completely differently?
See, when I started doing it, uh, I got people from different communities, in mostly Indian communities.
Hmm.
So we brought them together. I brought leaders of different organizations to get their feedback, their comments, their suggestions, because I didn't have enough experience to do it myself. So I wanted to get the pulse of every community, every organization, what they would like to see. And sometimes the idea came that why not we do Southeast Asian festival rather than South Asian festival. I said, no, I don't want to do that yet because that will be maybe beyond our control. When we talk about South Asian, Southeast Asian, we have to bring Singapore, Malaysia, China, Taiwan, China, and all these groups. But if we can stay with South Asian communities, that's typical shark countries, right? So we know that 6 or 7 countries are there who are actively involved in theater. And my idea was that we'll not only keep this in here, we'll try to collaborate with all those countries and bring people from there into our festival. And that's exactly we did over the last 20 years. That we got people from Nepal, we got people from Bangladesh, we got people from Afghanistan. So all different type of performance we did over the years. So yeah, and that gave us a lot of exposure in those countries. It was a true exchange, uh, truly speaking.
That's great. And then a few years ago, you also started working with Crossroads Theatre Company, and then Collab Arts came about. So how did that start? What was the
See,
reason?
that's another thing. Our one of our mission in the beginning, that being here in the United States,
Yeah.
we know that we have a rich cultural heritage, right? And I can see that slowly and slowly,
Mhm.
American communities are getting interested
Mhm.
to know more about Indian culture, Indian heritage. But we will not be able to reach out to them unless we do something in collaboration with them,
Mhm.
because we will still stay within the South Asian communities, within the boundaries. But we need to go beyond our boundaries and try to collaborate with other communities who are like considered to be the minority communities like us here in the United States,
Mhm.
because our problems are same, our issues are same. So why cannot bring up stories from different communities, and they can also relate to us, they can also see us, that our presentation may be different, but the theme or topic could be the same, and people can enjoy each other. It's similar the concept like Fringe Festival had. And that's what our first collaboration was back in 2008, as you know, with first collaboration with New Jersey Performing Arts Center. We moved our festival for 3 years to New Jersey Performing Arts Center, which is sixth largest cultural center of United States, North America. And then after 3 years, the vice president of that program left, and we lost that platform. And at that point of time, I was kind of upset. Barkha was very much involved in that time. And suddenly, one of the director from Crossroads, they were seeing our activities at NGPAC. He came forward and he said, don't worry about it. Why not we collaborate and you can come back to the community, because people are already started complaining a little bit. Oh, we are traveling to no work. It's far away from us. So maybe we can do something in our backyard, which
Mhm.
is perfectly fine New Brunswick area.
Mhm.
So they had if you remember, Joss Street Playhouse had their own facility at that time, and Crossroads Theatre. So initially we started with Joss Street, then we moved to Crossroads in 2012, collaborating with them. So that's the Crossroads, Joss Street, and NJPAC. Recently, before the pandemic,
Mhm.
we actually, as you know, that one of our workshop directors, Subhashish, he does different kind of performances outside the proscenium. He loves to do interactive theater with the audience, a kind of improvisation and workshop based work. So I was always looking for opportunities where he can he is doing it at South Asian Theatre Festival, as you know, but he should be able to do it. And this is the best way to collaborate with the other communities, because there is a language barrier. Like, for example, Collab Arts is a Hispanic theater company, right? So basically, their audience are more comfortable speaking in, Spanish language as opposed to English. So maybe the workshop-based work would be the best for collaborating with them, their audience. So we were looking for the opportunities, and suddenly we found out the director of Collabats, Dan, is doing something
Yeah.
in one of the park in New Brunswick during
Mhm.
the summer, and he is thinking about doing the similar kind of thing.
Mhm.
So we started talking to him, and the first work with them we did with them, Subhashish did the work with
Mhm.
their kids,
Yeah.
along with our some of our own children. And I was just watching that, and even it was a small audience, but they all enjoyed. They had no issue in understanding the concept or the topic we are presenting together. At that time, we had some good uh, relationship built with collaborators, but due to pandemic, it didn't happen. It didn't continue because we just stopped everything. Especially doing something in the park was not possible. Doing something with interactive theater was not possible.
Mhm.
Um, so after the pandemic was over, around I think 2022, Dan one day called me. He
Mhm.
said, "Let's talk now. Now we are starting our work again. Maybe we can do something together."
Mhm.
And in the meantime, he had their own facility in New
Mhm.
Brunswick.
Mhm.
Collabars, they have their own facility. So I myself and Subhashish went there and started talking to him. And he was talking about different ideas that he's trying to bring some people to be a resident in their company as a resident theater, so that we can help each other, work together. And obviously, I didn't want to let that opportunity go. I immediately jumped in. I said, Epic is the first one to be a resident theater. How about that? And since then, because I always had a dream
Yeah.
that one day Epic will have his own facility,
Mhm.
right? And maybe other community theaters, we can give them opportunity to come do their rehearsal, because we always struggling for our rehearsal space,
Yeah.
even performance space. We are spending so much money to rent a performance space. Maybe we can do something. But I even spoke to Barca one time. The Barca, can we do something, all the theater groups together,
Yeah.
and do something? If so many temples can be built in the community,
Yeah.
why not we can build a space for ourselves when so many theater activists are there in the New Jersey? Never happened. But this is the opportunity I got. I just grabbed it. For last 3 years, we are working with them. We are sharing their space. Now we have our own office to do our meetings. We have our rehearsal space.
Right.
We can do our rehearsals there. We don't have to go here and there and spend money. And now we are actually talking about building a performance space over there. So hopefully this is going to happen. This is my effect of collaboration with different groups. Crossroads being an African American theater group,
Mhm.
uh, collaborators, being an Hispanic theater group. So I think that we are able to kind of collaborate with the like-minded people, other minority groups in New Jersey.
And that is so true. Any kind of art, whether it's music or performing arts or visual arts or any such form of art, really transcends anything that is language or race or culture, because everybody can partake in it, everybody can understand it, and everybody can feel one with it. So you're really doing some amazing, great work out there. And yes, fingers crossed, we'll keep our hope alive that we can come together as an arts community in New Jersey and, have this. I know the struggle of always having to hunt for rehearsal space and performing spaces, and artists are hungry for doing this, but sometimes we run into logistical challenges and
Especially
yeah,
finance.
that's
Um,
true.
we hardly get any support from people. There are so many uh, business people in the community,
Yeah,
uh, but for theater, I hardly see that anybody is coming forward and saying
yeah,
that, okay, let's do it. We'll help. We get support from here and there,
yeah,
but we need more.
yeah. And that's why it's so important to have people like you in our community who are basically vocal about this and who are leading this charge of doing things for the performing arts community. Coming now to the great 20th anniversary celebration of South Asian Theatre Festival, what are you working on right now? What should we look forward to for the celebration?
Some of the interesting things you will see, which probably you missed it earlier days, because a lot of people are coming new now in the community. They didn't. Our glorious days were our earliest days when we started South Asian Theatre Festival. As I said, all this collaboration and people coming in from different parts, including Canada. So this year, I told my committee that I will have one criteria for the festival. Usually, we have an organizing team of 20 people together, and every month we meet, trying to make a decision whatever we do for the festival together. But this year, I said that this is the only guideline I have, that, and this is my wish, that we got support from a lot of different people from India, from here, from different communities. I want to bring all the people, all the groups who supported us over the last 20 years. I want to bring all these people this year so that we can celebrate our historical event, milestone event together. So that's the whole criteria. And with that thing in mind, I have few wish list, but I'm not saying that is confirmed, but I'm still working on it because again, finance is the most barrier, which I'm working on it now. One of the thing I discussed with Amol Palekar, because as you know, Amolji was our first guest of honor in 2006. And then 2007, he directed a Bengali play with us, Pagla Ghoda by Badal Sarkar, which we traveled across India. And that was the only Bengali play he did in his lifetime, that too in a foreign country, right? And he came up with his autobiography this year, which is Amol Palekar Viewfinder. And the book launch was done all over India in different lit festival, including Kolkata. So he invited me to come to that lit festival, and I got a copy of that book, and I was surprised to see that our Pagla Ghoda was mentioned there. So it was a huge success. People are, when they have a question answer session, people are curious to know about his life from painter to a theater actor to his journey with and he only thing which I liked, I mean, I liked major of his conversation, but one thing I definitely liked most, he said that my inspiration to come to the theater was the Bengal. I got the inspiration from Utpalda, I got inspiration from Rishikesh Mukherjee, and all these people. So, and he was very fond of Badul Sarkar. You must have heard about his name.
Yes.
His birth centenary is going on this year. So I wanted to invite him to our festival this year since we're celebrating, and he's very interested to come. First book launch, I have a plan to do it in South Asian Theatre Festival and also celebrating 100 birth centenary of Badulda, because he's very fond of Badulda and kind of disciple of Badulda. And the play that was written by Badul Sarkar, Pagla Ghoda. So that's one thing. I'm still working. I'm not sure. Again, it may happen, it may not happen. I'm trying my best to make it happen. We are also working. I'm talking to Mohan Agassi, because he came to our festival one time as a panelist, and one time he directed a play, and our Barkha acted in that play, if you have seen it. And I wanted to bring him back again as a director. So he's kind of agreed, but I'm still working on it, because same, again, bringing them from India, you need some financial support. These are the two things I want to do. And we were trying to give Lifetime Achievement Award to the directors who repeatedly came here to support us. One is Mahesh Dattani. He'll be here again directing a play. And another person I want to invite, again, this is another collaboration we are doing with our American theater experts, is Dr. Farley Richmond. And one person from Bengal is Meghnad Bhattacharya, who supported us a lot throughout all these years. When we performed in India, he came here a couple of times. So these three persons, we want to give a Lifetime Achievement Award. That's another special event that's going to happen. Besides that, we are going to open the festival with our next generation. So we have recently a platform is formed called Next Gen Bongo. So these are all our future generations, second generations, who started working with us in different years, but now they have officially formed a group. And I'm trying to bring them into our festival, considering that we need to have our future generation involved in this platform. Otherwise, this platform will not survive. After us, who is going to bear the torch? So we need to get them involved in this platform, which is most of the time I saw all the theater company just disappeared after the main person is no longer there, because they didn't create any future generations to fall back, to take charge. So last year we brought this group, you must have seen it, as a volunteer. They were running the whole show. And I let them run it their way. Or, of course, they were guided by our senior, volunteers, but they did very successfully. And this year, I decided to have openly, I told them that you are going to be the face of the festival this year. So the opening night, Friday night, we are doing 3 days this year. Friday evening, they will be performing in again another very unique performance. I'm going to bring a mime director from Kolkata, who is disciple of famous mime director, internationally famous mime director Jogesh Dutt, and he is disciple, and he took the mime action beyond just mime activity. He is doing aerial mime activity, acrobatic mime activity. So he'll be here with us for 3 weeks, and it is confirmed. He is working with our next generations kids, train them so that they will be physically trained for future acting, also performing. And we are doing a collaboration between choreographed mime movement between mime and dance. So we'll incorporate live music. Again, everything will be performed by our next generation. Live music, dance, and mime activity. So this will be our opening piece based on specific theme, mostly women empowerment. So this will be an unique piece of show, which normally audience doesn't get opportunity to see it. So that's one other important thing. And other performance, I would say that we are trying to bring back a young Afghan lady who was with us for two times. One as a panelist, one she performed her stories because she was in Afghanistan, but she had to leave the country because she was not allowed to, and she got actually life threatening because she was doing some theater activities over there. So finally, she got asylum in Sweden, and she started writing her stories of her life experience, how the women were treated back there. She came here and performed, which was amazing to see. And then she expanded the story again over the years, and she's doing what is the current situation and what's happening there now. So I'm bringing her back again from Sweden, and she worked on this piece with a Swedish director. So he's also coming. So that will be another performance we'll be doing. Besides, we have, as I said, we have ICS performing under the direction of Mahesh Dattani. We are bringing theatrics because they are also with us for years. We are bringing a group from Washington, D.C. They were part of Nattu Bharati, who were with us for a long time. So this is and we have a Bangladesh theater group from New York, and their director also a very renowned director in Bangladesh. So they are all participating for 3 days. This is our lineup, more or less.
Wow. That's quite an action-packed weekend
Yes.
of, and so many of the celebrities, local and international. It's going to be a treat, absolute treat for the audience. So,
Yeah.
of course, everybody should rush to get their tickets ASAP
We need
and
your help,
be a
as I
part of
said.
this beautiful festival.
Yeah. And as I said, I mean, we need, and one of our revenue
Yeah,
mostly come from the ticket sale. So as long as we have a full auditorium,
yeah.
it's only 250-seater auditorium. It's not a big thing. It can be easily filled up. So we definitely need help from you guys and every other organization who are participating in this festival to bring their community, encourage their community, motivate their community. Because I can tell you that this is going to be an unique showcase of the festival where we started.
Mhm.
And over the years, so naturally, especially when we came out of NJPAC, we lost a lot of financial resources because that was fully supported by NJPAC. So we had to cut down our expenses. But this year, I'm going all out to make sure that we can make it happen. Let's see.
And all our best wishes are with you. Good luck for the festival, and we will all be sure, and I'm sure, hopefully, most of the audience will, will want to be a part of this amazing event as well. So,
Thank you so much again, you and ICS Theatre, to give me an opportunity to come on center stage. Um, I will never forget that when we started working together with Borka early days, and then one point of time, she decided to do ICS Theatre. I encouraged her,
yeah,
but we are still working together.
yeah,
We have a very good communication between us, and this is our strength.
yeah.
I really appreciate.
Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your story and sharing all of these beautiful pieces of insights of things that have happened behind the scenes over the years. It is, I'm sure, it's a wonderful knowledge bank for our audiences to listen to and watch this show. So thank you so much again,
Sure.
Dipanda, for coming on. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, a little insight into the work of Epic Actors Workshop. As you heard in the interview, Epic Actors Workshop originated in India decades ago and was brought to the US in 1988 as a performance group. It transformed itself rapidly and grew multifold, embracing the diversity of the various local South Asian communities of artists that became a part of this organization. In 2011, Epic's success in community based activities reached new heights in joining forces with Crossroads Theatre in New Brunswick to achieve a broader, more diverse audience outreach. Over the years, Epic has tackled many pertinent issues of our times, from women's rights to politics to environment to the trials and tribulations of the youth of the South Asian diaspora in America, and many more. Epic Actors Workshop bring together gems of South Asian theatre through their annual theatre festival, which has become a template for many such other theatre festivals that now take place in the Northeast. Through their dedication towards showcasing theatrical excellence, Epic has brought about a unique amalgamation of diverse cultural entities, breaking geographical and cultural boundaries, and at the same time celebrating their differences. That's it from me today. I'm your host, Anaita Mantli, signing off. I'll see you next time on Center Stage with ICS Theatre. Until then, please take care and support the arts. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.